Welcome to the It Factor. We're Jemmy and Nye, exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, a managed service provider in Queens, NY, offering network management, voice over IP, unified communications as a service, cybersecurity, compliance, infrastructure as a service, cloud solutions, and Microsoft 365 and Azure solutions. If you're a small business owner or manage IT for a growing organization, this episode is for you.
It really is. I mean, we're diving into something today that sounds totally like sci-fi, but it is very, very real.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking at Len Kaplan's article titled The Self-Healing Robot is Here, and it changes everything.
Right. And our mission here is to sort of bridge the gap. We want to take this crazy physical robotics breakthrough and figure out what it actually means for the everyday IT networks that you're relying on to run your business.
Exactly. And just real quick, if you want to keep a pulse on wild tech shifts exactly like this one, you should know that new blog posts drop over at CDML every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yep. Highly recommend keeping up with those. So let's just jump right into this robot.
Yeah, okay, so the article has this picture of the machine, and it honestly looks like an alien.
It really does.
Right, like picture this metallic, multi-legged mechanism sitting in a pile of rubble. It's got these glowing blue and orange lights, and the shape is completely unconventional. It is not a humanoid, and it is definitely not a rover with four wheels.
No, it's not. And that is because it's built from multiple small independent modules. That modular design is the whole foundation of this breakthrough.
Which is so weird to think about. Like, how does that even work practically?
Well, traditionally, the machines we use are rigid, right? Think of a standard car engine. If a single tiny gear breaks or one belt snaps,
You're stuck on the side of the road, the whole thing dies.
exactly. Everything relies on a central architecture. But these new robot modules, they each have their own motor, their own battery, and their own processing power. There is no central brain waiting to give instructions.
So it's kind of like a swarm of high-tech Lego bricks.
The swarm of Legos. I like that, yeah.
Like, imagine if you build a Lego castle, and then you just smash it into pieces. But every single brick has its own tiny brain.
Right.
So instead of just laying there waiting for you to rebuild it, the bricks assess the damage, crawl back together, and construct a completely new shape on their own to finish the job.
That is a brilliant analogy.
Yeah.
Because what is truly revolutionary here is the glue holding those bricks together. It isn't physical. It is localized artificial intelligence.
Oh, wow. So they just figure it out on the fly.
Right. When the robot gets damaged, it doesn't shut down. It uses AI to instantly recalculate its center of gravity and reconfigure its shape. Human engineers are not coding every single possible damage scenario.
Because they couldn't possibly predict all of them.
Exactly. It would be impossible. The AI optimizes its shape based on the environment.
Right.
We are seeing a shift from fragile machines to things that act much more like living biological organisms.
Or biological organisms.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. When you get a cut on your arm, your body immediately sends resources to clot the blood and heal the skin. These machines are doing the exact same thing. They heal, they adapt, and they survive.
Okay, that is incredibly vivid and honestly a little mind-blowing, but I have to push back a little bit here.
Go for it.
Because if I'm a listener, I'm thinking, I run a dental office or local accounting firm. I am not deploying a shape-shifting robot spider anytime soon.
Fair point, yeah.
So are we saying my office router is going to sprout legs and start walking around making its own decisions? Like, why do I care about a reassembling robot?
Right, that is the crucial pivot we need to make here. Your office router is not growing legs.
Thankfully.
But the underlying concept behind that robot, the autonomy, the self-healing, that is exactly what is migrating into your digital IT environment right now.
Okay, how so?
Well, look at where they use these physical robots today. Disaster zones, collapsed buildings, space exploration on Mars and the Moon.
Places where humans physically can't be? Or where it's way too dangerous?
Exactly. Or where the signal takes way too long. If a Mars rover hits a ditch, it has to decide how to save itself. It can't wait 20 minutes for a mechanic on Earth to send a command.
Because otherwise it's just $1 billion paperweight.
Precisely. And that broader shift in technology, systems becoming less dependent on us, is hitting IT. Software platforms and digital networks are now being designed with that exact same self-healing architecture.
Wait, really? Like automatically recovering?
Yeah. Traditionally, if a network switch fails in your office or a server crashes at 2 in the morning, the system stops. You wait for an IT manager to wake up, diagnose it, and manually reroute the traffic.
Which means downtime. And downtime is just burning money for a business.
Right. But a self-healing digital network runs constant automated backups.
Yeah.
If a switch fails, The software uses real-time algorithms to push your data through a backup server instantly.
Oh, kind of like how a GPS app reroutes you around a sudden traffic jam.
Exactly like that. It heals a network path in milliseconds.
Let's bring this down to a really everyday scenario, like that dental office we mentioned.
Sure.
Imagine the waiting room is packed. Suddenly, an employee clicks a bad link in an email and ransomware starts downloading. In a traditional setup that spreads to the main server, locks patient records, and you are canceling appointments for days.
Which is a complete nightmare, especially considering HIPAA regulations for protecting patient data. A breach like that is a massive compliance violation.
Exactly. So how does an autonomous network handle that exact same bad link?
Well, the autonomous network isn't just a dumb pipe. It's constantly analyzing behavior. The moment the ransomware tries to rapidly encrypt files, which is highly abnormal, the AI detects it.
And does it wait for permission to act?
No, it instantly isolates that specific front desk computer. It basically cuts its digital cord so the infection can't spread. Then it automatically rolls the main server back to a clean snapshot taken 10 minutes earlier.
So the system acted just like the modular robot. It recognized a damaged component, detached it to save the body, and kept running.
That is the exact parallel. And it applies to everything. Think about UCaaS, Unified Communications as a Service, or VoIP, Voice over IP.
Right, like cloud phones.
Exactly. If your primary internet connection starts dropping data, making calls sound robotic, an autonomous system detects that. It instantly reroutes your active calls over a cellular backup.
So the people on the phone don't even hear a drop. The system just heals the path.
Exactly. It's happening invisibly in the software we use every day.
Okay, that makes the value proposition super clear, but my brain immediately goes to the risks here.
Yeah, the security side of things.
Right, because if our networks are managing themselves, changing paths, and adapting on the fly, how on earth do you secure them? It feels like trying to put a security fence around a shapeshifter.
That is one of the most pressing challenges in cybersecurity right now, and it's exactly what Len Kaplan highlights. Securing a moving target is fundamentally different.
Because a regular firewall wouldn't even know what normal looks like anymore.
Exactly. In the old days, you built a tall digital wall. But if the system constantly changes its own behavior, the wall doesn't work.
Yeah, if I put a fence around a creature that can just turn into a bird and fly over it, the fence is completely useless.
Right. And worse, what happens if a hacker figures out how to manipulate the shapeshifter itself?
Oh, wow. Could they trick the system into adapting maliciously?
Yes.
If?
And that is a terrifying loss of control. If an attacker poisons the AI's logic, the healing action it takes might actually be locking you out of your own data.
Or opening a back door while pretending to fix a traffic issue. That is wild.
So you can't just focus on the fence anymore. You have to focus on the shapeshifter's DNA.
Meaning you monitor the core rules the system uses to change its shape.
Exactly. The business mandate has to shift from prevention to resilience.
Yeah.
You are setting strict zero-trust parameters for your AI.
What does that actually look like for a local business owner?
It means you tell the system, you can isolate an infected server at 2 a.m., but you absolutely cannot delete files without secondary human authentication. You monitor the why behind the adaptation.
You're putting guardrails on its logic.
Precisely. You make sure it hits a hard-coded limit before it can cause catastrophic damage.
That is such a huge shift in thinking. Hey, real quick, if this breakdown is helping you rethink your IT strategy, take a second to click that thumbs up button. It really helps keep these deep dives coming.
Yeah, please do. And connecting this back to what you can do today, because we want to make sure you walk away with actionable steps.
Right, because we don't want to just talk theory.
Exactly. This level of autonomy is actively being deployed right now. AI-driven tools, modern cybersecurity, Microsoft 365, Azure solutions.
They are all moving toward this autonomous model as we speak.
They are. The software you subscribe to is getting more independent every single day.
Which means taking a wait-and-see approach is actually a huge risk.
It is. If you wait until this is the mainstream standard, you'll be scrambling to figure out how to govern systems that are already making decisions without you.
So you need to lay the groundwork for resilience right now.
Exactly. And this is where partnering with a managed service provider like CDML becomes critical. Len Kaplan and his team don't just sell you a router. They actively help evaluate these emerging technologies.
They analyze your specific workflow and build an infrastructure that adapts and recovers from day one.
Right, so that the innovation actually strengthens your business rather than introducing wild new vulnerabilities. Strategy is now just as important as the hardware itself.
Because if your governance strategy is flawed, you're just automating your own vulnerabilities at lightning speed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to assume your perimeter will be breached eventually. Your ability to bounce back, your resilience, is your true ultimate defense.
Which really leaves me with this highly provocative thought to mull over as we wrap up.
Let's hear it.
If our technology is rapidly evolving to manage, heal, and secure itself, then the future role of the human IT worker completely transforms.
Oh, absolutely.
It isn't going to be about running cables or fixing broken machines anymore. The job of the future is going to be about managing the psychology and the ethics of the artificial intelligence running those machines.
Wow, yeah. That is a profound perspective. We are transitioning from mechanics of hardware to managers of digital behavior.
Exactly. It's a massive leap.
But it offers incredible efficiency if navigated correctly. If you want to start planning for what comes next and ensure your business is ready, head over to cdml.com to subscribe to the blog and contact the team to build a resilient strategy today.
We're Jemmy and Nye. Thanks for listening. Till next time.